All right, thanks a lot, Darren. As Men's Health Awareness Month draws to a close, let's take a look at another issue, men's mental health. Emily Medina, manager of Griffin Outpatient Psychiatry, is here to discuss this issue. Thank you very much for joining us today.
Thanks so much for having me.
Now, when it comes to men's mental health, what is unique about this issue as it relates to men?
So in the United States, nearly 1 in 5 males experience mental health conditions per year. What's different about males, unlike females, men are less likely to seek out formal mental health treatment. This is for a number of reasons, but first and foremost, there is the stigma within the male gender that it is weak to ask for help. So many men feel like if I ask for help, it's a sign of weakness, but in reality, it's really a strength.
Yeah, that's that alpha male thing that's getting in the way of everything. Let's talk about some of the signs of them struggling.
Sure. So mental health issues could look like a lot of different things. I think we think of depression and anxiety looking as sadness, tearfulness, isolation, but in males, it often looks different. Often they act out aggressively, they could become irritable. Sometimes males tend to switch to drug and alcohol addiction when they're really struggling, so they use it as a way to cope.
Definitely disturbing news. But as you know, the brain is a muscle, so what are some of the coping mechanisms and some of the care that we should be receiving?
Yeah, so I think a good way to look at it is comparing it to how we would strengthen our physical bodies, or like you said, our muscles. So how would we do that? We would eat healthy, we would exercise, we would get enough sleep, and luckily we could do that with our minds. So if anyone's familiar with the mental health field, we refer to these strategies as coping skills. So coping skills are basically strategies to help us deal with stress or difficult situations. There's countless coping skills. They range from deep breathing, relaxation techniques, yoga, meditation. Typically, you have to try more than one to find out what works for you. What works for me might not work for you, and vice versa, but there's many.
All right, now some of this, does this stem from childhood traumas? Is that a possibility?
Absolutely, that's definitely a part of it. Childhood traumas, again, when we're referring to males, are often sort of swept under the rug and not talked about, and they could come up triggered by stress later on in life, which often leads to mental health issues.
All right, let's get back to that alpha male thing, and that is that big boys and real men don't cry.
Absolutely. Which isn't true.
Which is not true.
Which is not true. So it's so important. Every day in this field, we try to break the stigma that, again, it is a strength to ask for help, which, again, unfortunately, many men don't think that way. Right.
Unfortunately.
Right.
Well, also, it's very important that we highlight some services and benefits that Griffin offers. Let's kind of talk about that.
Yeah, sure. So mental health, just like mental health illness, it's a spectrum, right? So mental health treatment coincides with the severity of the mental health symptoms. I think a lot of people, when they think of mental health and therapy, they think of going to lay on a couch and talk to someone about their feelings. It ranges from a few sessions with a therapist talking about current stressors all the way to inpatient hospitalization. So at Griffin, we do offer a wide range of these services, from the outpatient therapy, which includes individual talk therapy, group talk therapy, medication management. We also have many options at our intensive outpatient programs, which is a step between the outpatient and the inpatient programs.
All right, sounds like a lot of great information that you and the company has shared with us all month, and we certainly appreciate that here at News 8. And for a deeper look at men's mental health, head to our website, WTNH.com. We'll link you to Griffin Health. Now back to you guys, Catherine.
June is Men's Health Month, a time to take proactive steps toward a healthier life. A reminder from the Griffin Health Initiative for Men and the generosity of Frank and Judy Michaud through the Valley Community Foundation.